Selah Moonriver first felt salt winds skim her cheeks on a lavender rose morning, 22 June 1999, inside a weathered cedar cottage lifted on tide, scarred palings above Puget Sound's Bainbridge Inlet. Outside, a lone harbor sail pirouetted between kelp ribbons, while her mother, a wandering soul bossa violinist who hides pressed wild rose petals in her rosin claws, coaxed a sweet riff that knocked enamel mugs into soft applause. Her father, a lighthouse lens mechanic who doodles cloud orchids on spare fuse folders, leaned so close their freckles merged, and promised the newborn that pier chatter, corridor whispers, and clothing racks quitting at 14 would always scoot aside for anyone bold enough to fill her outline completely. Curves have traveled the Moonriver bloodline like warm Japanese current threading beneath the Sound's cold tongue, so no one blinked when baby Selah split a second muslin swaddle before the tea kettle sighed. Granny Willow threaded kite string through every tear, patched each gap with carnival banner scraps, and laughed that 3 extra inches of cloth cost pennies, while shrinking a child could bankrupt a sunrise. First grade halls smelled of cedar shavings, huckleberry buckles steaming from the lunch hatch, and brine sneaking through cranky louvers. Selah already towered half a head above her classmates, blotting the overhead beam whenever she mapped salmon migration on the pull-down atlas. One drizzle recess, 2 kids hop-skip rings, chanting freight barge, each thud her yellow boots left on chalk squares. At twilight she combed the rack line, pocketed soda caps polished satin by waves, strung them on fishing leader, stitched the rattling ribbon straight down her teal hoodie, and stepped into morning homeroom, scattering prism freckles across blistered ceiling tiles. A substitute aide filmed 9 shaky seconds on a prepaid phone, posted the shimmer to a newborn video nook, and by lunch, 15,000 strangers applauded the girl who forged teasing into lighthouse glitter. Layla wrote 1 plum ink sentence next to subtraction drills. Clouds crowd only until you flash them bright. Saturdays belongs to the public pier where her mother's violin curls tangled with diesel grumbles from crab boats, skillet hiss from salmon cake stalls, and gulls lobbying for herring trim. Store jeans jammed halfway, so Selah traded tip jar quarters for sun-bleached gill net, unraveled it into rope, crocheted a high-rise skirt, misted it with squid ink puffin silhouettes, then posed a tangerine sunset against rust-striped pylons while her cousin snapped grainy frames. Each photo drifted into an online diary she named Lantern Tide the very week a shiny image app fluttered across patchy island signal. Captions toggled between dock slang and quiet truths like Curve's anchor gusts, steadier than break walls. 2 months before 16 candles, 54,000 unseen hearts tapped miniature hearts under every coral shot, proved glowing rectangles hushed cafeteria razors faster than any gym whistle. A marine systems scholarship ferried her south to Oregon State's wave flume labs. Daylight dissolved inside turbine basins. Nights belonged to a 24-hour churro wagon. Glowing neon papaya beside wind-bent Sitkas. The heat lamp doubled as ring light. Between cinnamon orders, she filmed 90-second reels folding parchment into sea-firm barrettes while decoding dart rotation in a half-lecture snap and half shoreline hush. One upload looped harbor seal chirps under lo-fi shuffle while she chain-stitched reflective anchor braid into thrift denim. 47 hours later, counters dashed beyond 1.3 million. Pacific-style pages crowned her the churro couturier. Yet every sponsor pitch still stopped at size 16. She slid each deck into a folder marked shrinking nets, brushed sugar dust from her cuff, and smiled wide as equinox dawned. Spring storm drills dropped an email embossed with the Columbia Sportswear compass. They wanted her voice on a spray shell capsule called Drift Current. Selah answered with 3 peer-firm terms: patterns to 60-inch hips, half the crew hired from community college fashion cohorts, 10% of net profit pledged to kelp forest restoration from Nia Bay to Newport. The shoot unfurled on a tide-scoured sandbar where pipe and plover chicks dotted commas toward mere water. She guided paddle borders of every outline across silver ripples while a drone traced lazy infinity loops overhead. When the lookbook went live, extended-size jackets vanished in 41 hours across 33 nations, and Lantern Tide vaulted past 700,000 lantern icons. Here drifts the first bright call. If the subscribe badge above still blazes red, touch it now so it calms to soft gray. One tap locks your front row rail, guaranteeing that next Friday's story rolls into your feed ahead of algorithm tides. Afterward, glance down to the description for a secret doorway named the Love Compass, a proven guide countless viewers follow when they crave genuine connection and the surest steps to inspire deep affection in every woman they meet. Spotlight shimmer tugged rumor gals. A clickbait vlog insisted Selah cinched iron plates around her waist under drift current shells. Dawn saw her paddling a cedar board beyond eelgrass ribbons, bare feet rooted in linen shorts and sports bra, tracing every silver stretch mark with crushed bougainvillea dust, while her mother's violin tore a sunrise riff so raw pelicans stalled mid-arc. 10 million viewers reposted the proof, brushing future pollen across their own curves until gossip sank beneath slack tide. Turtle wedges braided with capsule royalties and whipped into Moonriver velvet, a cloud-like butter swirling spruce tip custard, yuzu leaf oil, and mica sparks that glow seashell white in foam flash. 19,010s cooled on her father's chart table, lids tied with braided crab pot rope. Each label stamped moisturizer horizon. Inventory drained in 82 minutes, lifting $198,000. 20% seeded Beacon grants, sending industrial surgers and hydrophones to plus-size teens in shoreline schools from Tillamook to Tacoma. 8 months later, 38 Beacon teams live-streamed a floating fashion and well song gala aboard a repurposed purse-seiner strung with solar lanterns, sunrise color flooding classrooms from Kingston to Kyoto. Seattle Harbor Fashion Night birthed brand new. Jetty Lore, a backstage blower, shredded her sapphire mesh gown, hip to knee 80 heartbeats before showtime. Selah ripped neon dock rope off a light truss, laced the gap like boot hooks, and strode the planks as if the splice gleamed in every sketch. Shutters cracked like kettle corn. Vogue Cascadia crowned the rescue rope cadence, and another million lantern sparks lit before saxophones tested their mouthpieces. Her drama circled back when a disgruntled aide leaked clip email suggesting she demanded oyster slider towers and chauffeured skiffs for her rescue puffin lyric. She posted the chain whole: refillable water urns, lentil stew for crew, caption monitors for deaf stylists. That month's affiliate tied $135,000, funded biodegradable crab trap pilots off Cape Flattery. Fans echoed, her pair creeds receipts shine brighter than rumor grit until whispers flatten like tide pool crystal. Family keeps her helm true. Twice each month she streams Porchline Groove. Mud weaves soulful runs beside a propane griddle. Dad recites cloud haiku. Selah flips thrift denim while lyric waddles powdered sugar spirals. One episode climbed past 9 million when the puffin sneezed glitter into the lens. A Seabird Refuge now sponsors every show, tagging rehabilitated puffins with solar beacons financed by Moonriver Velvet. Profits from Velvet crested over $12 million by second solstice. Selah leased a dormant herring shed, carved skylights through corrugated tin, hired furloughed deckhands, plus design grads to whip custard in knot lids during midday funk sets. Efficiency auditors begged shrink bands. She repeated Granny Willa's line, "Fingers remember stories longer than plastic clamps," and rope tie stayed human. Her feed carries True Sky. Granite Bluff Portraits shares scroll room with Churricart selfies captioned "Same sky, different tide." She posts breath loops recorded in sea caves, resilience worksheets in English and lush shoot seed, therapy vouchers tucked 3 swipes down. 162,000 readers call her shoreline candor their first calm harbor. Community glow rides glitter beneath crushed shawl confetti. Hundreds wheel sunset causeways wearing Moonriver velvet on collarbones and LED eelgrass tassels spinning from spokes. Ticket money fattens Beacon grants and raises wheelchair snorkel rigs over fresh springs. Chowder Shack simmer late salmon chow bowls jump 15% on ride nights. Selah leads from a vintage cruiser with lyric plush strapped forward, pausing to retie any rider's drifting lace. She is polishing currents keep names for 11 language shells next spring, while a film crew shadows her dream to weld retired buoy chains into floating maker studios for island schools. Puma's wide 2-wave lantern sneaker splashes ashore next quarter, threaded with reflective rope, cushioned by algae foam, steering 10% of revenue into Beacon nurseries, hugging the northwest rim. Second Rippler reminder: if you tapped like but left subscribed glowing red, calm it to gray now. One fingertip keeps next week's tide pinned to your notifications. and the Love Compass link below awaits whenever your own heart yearns for steady romance. Winter sidles toward Slackwater, fresh velvet tints, beacon doors, tonight's Porchline playlist, and that trusted confidence map rest in the description, free for every traveler. If the soda cap hoodie shimmer, rope lace gown rescue, or lyric glitter sneeze sparked even half a grin, tap like, ripple your brightest thought in the comments, and share this voyage with someone whose sails hang still. Every curve rewrites currents, every scar refracts lighthouse beams, and the coast bows to any soul bold enough to plant sure boots on the pier and greet tomorrow eyes bright. Final invitation drifts on the hush between waves. Subscribe this heartbeat, claim your rail, open the love compass right below, and meet me on the next rising tide. When a new story glimmers just beyond the breakers, and courage speaks your name once more.